and better contract. It's one that started in the offseason, didn't go to training camp. We haven't seen him there. Now with this is NFL Network insider Ian Rappaport. Ian, what can you tell us about Melvin and his status with the team?
Yeah, at the very least, this is something Melvin Gordon is considering potentially giving up his holdout and reporting to the team as early as this week. Now, there's a lot more to this story, and there's a lot still that needs to be figured out. Gordon, of course, was fined in the millions because of missed preseason games and now missing game checks. Obviously, has not played yet, missed about a month of this season. So those need to be settled. We'll see if the Chargers end up giving any sort of forgiveness on the fines or anything that Melvin Gordon has incurred up until this point. And then there's the matter of if he shows up, let's say today, let's say tomorrow, I am told he is not going to play for the Chargers just yet. So either way, his holdout is going to last more than a month, not going to play at the earliest week 5. Either way, it is clear it is nearing an end for Melvin Gordon's holdout, which will not result in a new contract.
Yeah, only so many courses of action that a guy in his position could take. This one is the ultimate conclusion that he reached. Let's look over to another guy who's taking another course of action. That is Jalen Ramsey. He requested a trade after some conversations with the front office that he did not feel went the right way after a loss to the Houston Texans. And now this week he started off, did not practice Monday, said he was out with the flu. Now the team's saying he had a back injury. Here is what his head coach had to say today.
Yeah, the flu. Did he come in? He came in and saw the doctor. Was he good? Was he all cleared?
He was sick. Yeah.
But he's good now. Feeling better.
From the sickness?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then when did the injury pop up?
I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, he just gets tight, you know. I mean, his back got tight. It's normal. His back has gotten tight before. My back's tight. A couple of guys' backs are tight. You know, a couple of guys have hamstrings. I mean, everyone gets the stuff. What's the matter?
Can't even look over there, can you?
Look over where? To you?
No, no.
What? No, go ahead.
Well, it just seems curious. Again, we talked about the curious timing of it. Now all of a sudden he's going to miss practice again. Are you at all concerned with him long term or short term?
When the last time? What do you mean, like miss practice again?
Well,
when's the last time you missed practice?
Missed Monday. Not practice.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Monday. I mean, yeah, a lot of guys didn't practice Monday. No, I'm not. I'm really not.
Ian, Doug Marrone pleading with everybody through his own disposition there to say, hey, the guy got a little banged up playing football. That's not that odd, but people are reading into this.
People are reading into it and considering the situation surrounding Jalen Ramsey. His trade request still wanting to be traded, the team wanting not to trade him, wanting him to play for them and continue to kind of be the face of this really, really good defense in what is now a division that is very, very winnable. You could see why at least the two sides are maybe not all on the same page here. So this is kind of the latest step for Jalen Ramsey. He was sick, believed he had the flu on Monday, but he also went in for some treatment on his lower back on Monday as well. So as Doug Marrone indicates, this is not exactly the most surprising thing for them in the history of the world. The timing is interesting, but yes, sometimes players experience some back tightness playing football. It's just been obviously something we're going to have to continue to monitor for Jalen Ramsey, and we do not know his status for Sunday. No word on that yet, obviously.
And Ian, we do know the status for Saquon Barkley, at least for the next few weeks. Not sure how long after that. A high ankle sprain. I'm seeing a possible second opinion that they're seeking. What could come from that?
Yeah, he is currently in Green Bay seeking a second opinion. Actually, it's really a third opinion from Dr. Robert Anderson, the foremost foot specialist in the nation. He is now, used to be in Charlotte, now is in Green Bay. And my understanding is this is really just Saquon making sure he gets as much information as he possibly can on his ankle. He is out at least a month. 4 to 6 weeks was the estimate I was given. Giants could be cautious. He's got a bye in the 7th week. But obviously he's someone who has dealt with this in the past in college, only missed a couple weeks, so potentially he's someone who heals quicker than they imagine. Either way, he is getting a very good expert opinion this morning. We'll see what the recommendation is from Dr. Anderson.
Yeah, have time. You might as well find out as much as you possibly can. He's got 32% of his team's total offense since 2018, second highest in the NFL. We'll be back with Ian Rappaport later on NFL Now. This season, the one that we've highlighted there, the big one, the best turnover differential in the NFL goes to the Green Bay Packers. Let's look over to how these coaches and these players are getting set for Thursday Night Football.
You know, this is a defense, when you get to third down, and even some second downs, but third downs, when they start bringing in a bunch of these DBs and linebackers, and you don't know who's a D lineman, who's a backer, they try to cause a little confusion for you up front. And it can be a problem.
It's good defense. It's good defense. They play fast. They play physical. Really talented front, and they do so many different things. It's got a similar structure to what we saw last week with the Lions defense. Just a lot more multiple. They mix it up really well. They bring a lot of different funky pressures. They drop 8. They do kind of everything. So on a short week to just really get in there and study everything that they do, and knowing that they have a talented defense. We're going to have to be on top of things and play fast.
It's time for us to do our part on offense moving forward. We're going to play some, a stretch of really good football teams. And at some point, we can't expect our defense to shut everybody down. They have been. But at some point, the offense is going to have to wake up and start making some plays.
Let's head to Green Bay, Wisconsin. That's where our own Stacey Dales is ahead of Thursday Night Football. Good afternoon to you, Stacey. We heard A-Rod say they need to wake up. Who do they need to wake up? Who do they need to get involved more offensively for the Packers?
Well, good afternoon to you guys. Patrick, listen, they have to score more points, as you just alluded to. We heard the bite from yesterday from Aaron Rodgers, the 23rd ranked scoring offense, averaging about 19 points per game. And you ask who needs to be involved. 2 guys, tight end Jimmy Graham and wide receiver Davante Adams. Against Denver this past weekend, a combined 5 targets. Davante Adams only had 4 targets. And, Aaron Rodgers specifically said yesterday, we've got to get Jimmy going and Davante going if this offense is going to go where it needs to go. And when you think about Davante Adams specifically, 13 touchdowns this season ago. And for him to have just 4 targets in that game, listen, the conversations have been had. He's happy. He's not a complainer in terms of how many targets. Quite a windy day here in Green Bay. But Aaron Rodgers said yesterday, we have to create more opportunities for Davante Adams. And this is a complex offense, and that means more motions, get him moving more. There are so many more design plays versus just forcing Davante Adams to have to win one-on-one on the outside. And also, head coach Matt LaFleur, he's been pressed on it as well. He said, listen, this is one of the premier receivers in the National Football League. We know we've got to get him the ball more, but I will also tell you philosophically, he is not into force-feeding receivers. That's not his focus. He wants to get the ball to the open guy. However, he said we've got to call the plays and make sure we get those plays called in the course of the game. And certainly I think we're going to see Davante Adams involved more heavily on Thursday against the Eagles.
Yeah, Stacey, the windy day there in Lambeau Field. Davante Adams, we've seen him breeze through defenses in the past. We've seen this offense breeze up and down the field. They've been so efficient in the past, in previous years, maybe during the peak of the McCarthy era. Now they have no second-half touchdown passes from Aaron Rodgers, only 13 second-half points all year. How can they be more efficient?
Well, they can be more efficient by improving third down. They've talked about it all week long. Trust me, Aaron Rodgers said yesterday, we've just been flat out bad in third down situations. They are 9 of 36, 25%. You talk about getting the ball to Jimmy Graham and Davante Adams, but those opportunities haven't been there because they haven't been good enough on third down, according to Aaron Rodgers. The other part of the game and the scheme that is affected is the run game. And this run game simply allows this, what Aaron Rodgers calls the action pass passing game. We know there's more motions this year. They're in and out of the pocket more in terms of play action. And in order for that to excel, the run game has to be better. I asked head coach Matt LaFleur yesterday, where is this thing at? And he admitted it's not where we need it to be. He said it takes all 11 guys, and they are still learning. I keep talking about scratching the surface with this offense. It's the offensive linemen taking care of their blocks. It's the receivers getting on their blocks, which is much more complex for this receiving core. And it is those running backs pressing the hole and setting up their blocks. Aaron Jones has been pretty good. Jamal Williams has been pretty good, but they want better in terms of the run game and third downs.
Yeah, at least at this point early on in the season, they've been able to lean on that defense. And the last time they had a top 10 scoring defense, 2010, they won the Super Bowl. Good results then. Stacey Dales in